Hey, my sis Shira.
Hey, Sister Faith.
Oh, well, I guess we back to talk about some things. Ooh, cha.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I've had a memory just the other day because I was sitting up and I was just thanking Abba Yah for life, for health, and for strength. And
Hallelujah.
yeah, I don't know why it just came back to my memory, but it's one of those things that's a testimony. When I think back of how I literally had to run for my physical life from Chucky. Yeah, that real,
Man.
yeah, that real crazy one.
Wow,
Um,
really? Okay.
yeah, yeah. So that's the one that
Got
actually.
you.
Well, I just tell the story. All right. So I remember I was sitting in the house and he was gone, and he had went and rolled off somewhere. So his best friend's girlfriend, we was talking on the phone. She had called me and we was talking on the phone. And she invited me to come and, hang out with her and one other person that I knew as well that I became, acquaintances with. And at first I started not to go because I wasn't really into that kind of stuff, like hanging out too much. But I just changed my mind and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go, girl. Let me put my clothes on. So she said we were gonna just be riding around, talking, whatever. So anyway, I put my clothes on. They come and they pick me up. We riding,
Mhm.
had a little, they had a little something to drink or whatever. But we were just riding around. We were just talking about stuff, talking about how no good men are, particularly like Chucky. And then the other girl was going with Chucky's son. And then, like I said, his best
Amen.
friend's girlfriend. So we were just talking about our woes.
Mm.
So we wound up going over to uh Chucky's best friend house, which was the girlfriend that I was with. We went over to his house and we just parked in the yard because don't ask me, that's just what they do. You just be in the car and you just park and you play music. And if you
Mhm.
got something to drink and you talk or whatever. So I was in the car, but the thing
Yeah.
is, Chucky didn't know I was
Yeah.
in the car. So we sitting there and they said, look, Faye. So I'm seeing Chucky and he was walking back and forth through the house and I'm just observing him because again, he had no clue that they came and picked me up and that I was in the back seat of the car. So he was there and I saw one of his first like older baby mamas there, and then the baby mama friend was there and they were sitting in another vehicle on the other side. But
Mm.
anyway, I saw him and he was talking, doing this thing. I could tell he was kind of, drunk or inebriated on whatever. And he went and he got in the vehicle with them. So we just sitting there looking. And they was like, Faith, you see that? You see that? They're like, man, that's disrespectful. How he gonna do that? And y'all supposed to be, y'all supposed to be together. Y'all supposed to be married. And he doing all of that. And just being in the car with them and stuff. And it was just it was very
Mm.
disrespectful.
Mm.
So somebody, I think
Mm.
somebody had finally told him and said,
Mhm.
Faith in the car. He didn't believe them that I was in the car. So then I got out and I called
Mhm.
him over
Uh-oh.
and I said, this ain't right what you doing. I don't appreciate this. This is very disrespectful. But I didn't like holler at him, in front of people, whatever, like real loud because of how he was. But I pulled him over to the side to talk to him. So this is what he did. He had got this look on his face. And then he told everybody, he was like, you know what? We finna get ready to go. So then we was getting ready, turn around, getting ready to go. And I think it was his baby mama holler out the window. She was like, Jackie, you better not do nothing to her. You better not do nothing to her like that. And he was like, no, I'm cool. Cause he was
Oh,
real.
wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then as soon as we got in the car and pulled off. And before we made it, we was out of their view. And before we made it to the end of the road, that's when he started basically asking me, how dare I ask him any questions and come talk to him like that. And then he started hitting me and punching me all the
Really?
way, yeah, all the way down the road,
I'm
all the
so
way down the
sorry.
highway. Yeah, but he just started hitting me, punching me, and it just kept getting harder and harder and harder. So by the time we pulled up to the house, and he was still, on his violent tangent, and I walked in the house, unlocked the door, and he was still hitting on me from the back of my head and everything all the way in the house. So I got to the front room, stepped in, and he sat down on the chair. I had my I think I put my keys, like it was like a table by the mirror when I first walked in the house. Like my keys was right there. I still had my purse like in my hand.
Mhm.
And he looked at me, he said, well, first when he looked at me, all of a sudden, it's like he turned like, I don't know, like 30 shades darker. It was like I could like he turned 30 shades darker. It was like his
Wow.
ears. Look there, he looked like a beast. He just looked like a beast to me. And I'm like, and I called his name. I
Mhm.
said,
Yeah.
Chucky. He said, don't call me Chucky. He said, call me. And I say the name, call me Bobo. Don't call me Chucky. And I look, I'm like, what in the world? And then he looked at me. He said,
Mm.
go ahead and call who you going to call. You better
Wow.
call him and talk to him right now because this is the last time you're going to be able to call anybody. And when he said that, I just instinctively, I grabbed my
Wow.
keys
Yeah, that's a
off the
threat.
table. Yeah. And I ran out the door to the car. I ran out the door to the car and I knew I had to get in the car and I had to crank up and drive off. And when I got in the car and I crunk up and backed up to try to pull off, like I said, he came out of nowhere and boom, he bust my window out. I mean, busted out, glass all
Mm.
shattered on me. But I mashed the gas anyway because at that point I didn't care if I had a hit or I was, it was my life, and I
Yeah.
mashed the gas. And this right here wasn't in nighttime because it transitioned to morning from like that evening. So I mean, so I pulled off.
Mhm.
He tried to run
Yeah.
after the car. So I'm running. I'm speeding. I'm speeding and my shirt is torn, but he grabbed me. My bra's broken, my shirt is ripped. I didn't know it until later. My eye, was swollen,
Mm,
gave me
mm,
a black
mm.
eye. I was bleeding. I mean, yeah, it
Yeah.
was horrible. I didn't know what to do. And so I had got on the phone and I called, his best friend's girlfriend and I told her all about it. I said, he done went crazy. I don't know what in the world, he done went crazy. And so they wound up coming over and by the time Chucky was gone, he had hauled off, went walking somewhere. So the girlfriend came and then she got in the car and her boyfriend told her to stay with me. So she got in the car with me and we was just driving around and I'm talking, I'm nervous, I'm in shock, I don't know what it is, and everything, and she was trying to calm me down and talk to me. So but now I know what it was. That number one, that was like the usual thing within that circle because her boyfriend was whooping up on her as well. And so what it was, he wanted her to stay with me to make sure to keep tabs on me and make sure I didn't go to the hospital or call the police.
Mhm.
That's what that was about. And in the
Ain't
meantime,
that classic?
yeah, and her boyfriend was riding around until he found Chucky to pick him up and get him off the street and try to cool him down because apparently, like I said, this was a normal thing. So this wasn't the first time, that this type of thing happened. So yeah. That's what wound up happening. And then after that, after we rode around for a while, and they was calling, trying to keep tabs and see what my head was and everything. And then they called, yeah, they called the girlfriend again, but she didn't answer. Then she picked up the phone because she had a voicemail. So she said, "Listen to this," and we listened to the voicemail. And apparently, on the other end, her boyfriend didn't hang the phone up completely. So we hear on the voicemail how Chucky talking about, "Man, this ain't us. This not what we do,
Mm.
man. This not what we do." And I'm like, what in the world? And they were just talking,
Mm.
and and her boyfriend was talking to him, just telling him, say, she good, she a good girl, you can't be doing that, and just talking to him and everything. And I'm like, this is crazy. But then finally, after a while, after riding around and everything, and then I had got some ice to put on my face because, the side of my face, my eye was like getting just huge, bigger over time. So I had put some ice to try to start slowing down the swelling. And then that's when she was like, "Hey, let's go back over." No, I told her, I said, I'm gonna go back and take you back over to where you were, which was at her boyfriend's house, because she was, part-time staying with him. I said, "I'm gonna go and take you back over here because I'm gonna just come back to the house." So by the time we got over there, and before I pulled off, her boyfriend and Checky pull in. And of course I'm scared. I was like, I mean, really scared. But then he was acting like, let's go back to the
Of
house.
course.
And I was like, I didn't know. I really didn't want him to come back with me. I was in fear. But then I was scared that if I say no, it'll just be worse and start all over again. So I just went with it and just did my best to just stay calm. And I was just praying within myself. I was praying for protection
Mm-hmm.
within myself, because I was like, if I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. I'm just trying to stay calm. I'm trying not to
Imagine.
tick it off. And then by the time we got back to the house, and I went and took a shower and cleaned up and everything, and it was like he was looking at my face, looking at the aftermath of how he was just a monster. And I forgot what he was just saying
Mm-hmm.
something to the
Yeah.
extent of, look at what I did, or look at what you made me do. This is not what I do, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that narcissistic monster classical symptom. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it ended
Yeah.
from there. Oh, I
Sister,
forgot.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, I forgot one other detail.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Going back to when we were in the yard, like in between when I ran out the house and got in the car. And I remember hearing him scream in a voice saying, "I hate this marriage. I hate this marriage." And then he pulled his ring off and slung it in the yard. I forgot about that detail. Because after we came back, he
Yeah.
went in the yard trying to find the ring to put it back on. Yeah. So I just wanted to add that. I had forgot that part.
What did that mean to you in that moment? Yeah. The part that you added, first I want to say I really like admire how you have that courage to talk about it. No, it's a story in the past. It's still and you're healed. It still carries weight, and I think it's very such a blessing that it shows just how proof that the Father can heal anything. There's nothing too hard for Him to do. All praises to His name. And
Hallelujah.
I want to define who you are, that identity, and you were able to move on from that and to help other people, But going back to the part of the story you just added, added on at the end, what did that mean to you when he said that? Because the abuse is very horrible that you endured the mind abuse, the emotional and mental deception, and trying to the whole narcissism, as you all call it. But the terminology that we use for that, just the whole trying to gaslight and things like that. I get that part. We get that. But the part that you added on at the end was very critical and important that I think other people need to know and hear. You made mention that he had, it was like a demon speaking through this monster on top of many multiple legions of entities. And he was talking about, I messed up this marriage, I ruined the marriage, and then throwing the ring. What did that mean to you in that moment? Like, what were you thinking?
In that moment when that thing starts screaming, I hate this marriage, I hate this marriage, I'm like, I was thinking like, you know, why did you even pursue me to marry
Oh, he
me in
said,
the
I
first
hate
place?
this marriage.
Yeah, he said, I hate this marriage. I hate this marriage. Yeah.
Oh, hey, I thought you said hurt. Okay. Yeah, I got you now. Okay. Yeah, what did that mean to you? Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, why did you even marry me? That's what I was thinking. Why did you even marry me if you hate this marriage? You just married me
Mhm.
for
Right.
benefits. It was
Right.
just for a tactic. It was just for a show.
Mhm.
Because, even in other things, when I, go back and think about it, it was like he was trying to revamp his image because people were scared of him. He was the type of
Mhm.
person, if you see him walking in a store or down the street and you look at him, you would go the other way. Yeah. And he had, a bad
Mhm.
reputation. So I was just part of that thing where he was trying to recreate his image, make himself look like a family man, because he even put that like on his little thing when he did a LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. He was like, I'm a family man. And that's what he would tell his probation
Mhm. Mhm.
officer. And, I'm
Mhm.
married, I'm a family man. And yeah. So it was like, I mean, he didn't really want the marriage per se as far as the covenant of it, but he wanted the benefits of it, but he hated the covenant of it, the obligation to the actual vows that
Right.
he took that he wasn't even fulfilling, from what I found out, even
Right.
from the beginning. So
Yeah.
yeah. So it
Mhm.
was kind of like
Yeah.
when I
Family
didn't.
man, but you're a mentally ill, demon possessed man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like when he go in his zone with the cheating, which later I found out, that he was
Yeah.
snorting cocaine, and I didn't know he was snorting cocaine. But with the cheating, with the binges, with the just leaving and going off and ghosting, he couldn't do it totally in peace because there was a marriage dynamic involved.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That covenant is very important. It's very deep. And it's deep. It's more than just, oh, I'm shacking up with somebody or see, it's different when you're married to someone as opposed to just being living with someone and committed. There's a difference because covenant, nadir, a vow, that's a big deal. It's a very, very, very spiritual, emotional, mental connection. And it requires a literal decree whenever you break this thing. That's why you can't just separate sometimes, because there's all these attachments that are involved with the covenant. And then when you're in a covenant with a monster, mentally ill, demon possessed, narcissistic, I don't even want to say man. I mean, he's really just a being being used by the enemy himself that's unrepentant, that is just was assigned to you. That carries so much damage,
Yeah.
long-term damage. And say, we're looking back at you, Faith, looking at you, being able to say, I'm sorry, I did this. still standing, you're still standing. And it's like when you go through anything moving forward, like maybe work or going through things with, family situations, or, things that's just want the door. Look, the minute you step out that door of your front door of your house or side door, whatever, it's good. Something's waiting for you in the lurking in the bushes somewhere. But it's like you can hold on to how you made it and overcame and are recovered and being made whole from those things. That this is one of those anchors that you can hold on, that's connected to our Messiah, connected to the Father, that you can tangibly say, I'm delivered from that. I will never go back to that again. Let me ask a question though. This will be my final question.
Okay.
Afterwards, when you got away, once you got away, there's that guilt or embarrassment or stigma of, people looking at you and say, well, why did you get involved with that in the first place? If you couldn't see he was a monster? I understand he did, what narcissists do, building you up, giving you all the gifts and showering you with all that love, 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 and presents and stuff. But you couldn't see anything. That's how some people talk that don't understand. I don't know if they're really sincerely trying to get understand. It sounds like judgment. So I say all of that because did you carry that emotional weight or that guilt of it, like an embarrassment later on?
Um, yeah, I carried some embarrassment, but it was from myself because there were, certain things that
Okay,
took place before we actually said the vows, but it wasn't anything
got you.
like horrible. And, of course, he made sure to try not to start the stuff where
Hmm.
he was like beating on me and things like that, like he did with the
Of
others. He
course.
really put on a show to try to hold on, to try to hold on to me.
For you.
Um, but as a matter of fact, when
Hmm.
everything happened and we busted up, a lot of people actually was like, it's about time, because there were things that he was doing that other people saw that
Mm.
he was
They
doing,
sell.
and they did not, they just didn't say anything. It was one of those things that was after the fact. Like in my city, because it's a small
Hmm.
city, when something happens and then they wait to after effect and be like, oh, I knew that. Oh, I saw such saw over there with meeting that woman over in the corner behind the bushes. Oh, that's just how it was. Like stuff was coming out. So, and then on top of it, he
Yeah.
went out and he lied on me and said that I was cheating on him. But
Mm.
that's another story for another day, even how
Of
that
course.
came up. And people were like, he was
Yeah.
crying. He went around
Sure.
crying, having a tour. And they said he was crying, talking about he loved you and you cheated on him. They're like, but we hope you did cheat on him. Cause he been cheating bad. We hope you did. We don't care about him. So
Hmm.
people was like hoping that I cheated on him, and I was like, no, I did not cheat on him. He is lying. He is lying. He's the only one that was cheating. But yeah, I just I felt more
Hmm.
embarrassed. I did feel kind of. I felt more embarrassed to myself. I felt like I allowed a lot of stuff to go on that I
Yeah.
shouldn't have. I allowed the things to go on where when you see somebody else going through it, you're like, I never do anything like that. I never let nobody do this. Well, I wound up going through a lot of those things. That
Right.
was like, I never. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Got you. Yeah. Really go into my really final. I know I said that was the last one, but I got one more.
Okay.
How did you overcome? Like when you look back when you look back on it, like what was your biggest overcoming moment? Because I know it was easy to just walk away when you finally had that courage and didn't have the fear of what might happen and things like that. But what would you say your what was your biggest accomplished moment of walking away, getting away, surviving and thriving? What was your biggest aha moment that you kind of are proud of?
My biggest aha moment that I was proud of was how when everything just finally busted up and he moved out, that even in the midst of the pain,
Mhm.
I handled my business.
Okay.
I made sure to change my direct deposit immediately because he had wanted me to have my checks directly deposited
Gotcha.
into his account because he had control of the finances. And so I didn't see any money. I struggled bad. It was so hard I couldn't even hardly buy toilet tissue. He took all my money. So after yeah, I walked away.
Yeah,
I regained
I
control
remember you
of
saying
my
that.
yeah, I regained control of my finances. And then the second thing was, and it was a blessing, it was like probably a week, after a week and a half or 2 weeks after he walked away, I had got a bonus at my job. And everybody knew in that city where I worked at, you got real good bonuses. And it was real good. So I finally was able to see my bonus. And I bought myself some clothes. I bought myself some
Mhm.
wigs. I did the things that I like to do because he had erased me. I couldn't, anything I wore, my hair, my clothes, it had to be what he approved of. I wasn't able to do the things that I
Yeah.
like to do. So I did things and I got things that I liked.
Wow.
Yeah, to try to, feel myself again. But I really was proud of myself for changing that direct deposit immediately back to where I had my money going to my account.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That took a lot because it was like you were brainwashed in a way. And
Yeah.
many won't understand that until they're in that situation. It's a process. It's not like overnight this just happens and you're just boom. It was a process. It's a process that happened. It wasn't just boom. So, I commend you and I praise the Most High for, His grace, His compassion, and mercy for allowing you to survive, first of all, and then also for just bringing you out and being able to heal and be made whole so that you can help other people, just as we're doing right now, even with this particular Ooh Child. So Ooh Child is more so today about your survival. Ooh Child is being saying
Yeah.
you overcame by the blood of the Lamb, word of your testimony. Ooh Child, it's about your strength and courage and determination and seeing that value in yourself, getting your identity back. So that deserves a ooh child, because
Ooh, child.
that to me that's we capitalize more on that child. That's more important than even the story itself. Really, that outweighs the bad. I hope that encourages someone that's listening. I know it will. And as you watch this video, watch it all the way to the end because you're gonna see a little video pop up to watch other videos. It's gonna recommend other videos from this channel that you can listen to or watch in your time, and it's going to bless your soul no matter where you're at. But thank you, my dear sister Faith. Let's just thank Abba, thank the Most High for her story,
Hallelujah.
and I'm just praying that others will be blessed by it. Hallelujah. All
Yes.
right.
Well, I guess we'll go on and just leave it here. And I really, do hope and pray, just like what you were saying, that,
Oh,
people will listen to this
all right.
story. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, peace and blessings to you, dear Sister Faith, and to all those listening again. Hit that subscribe button and go ahead and click on that next video. As we depart, we say,
Ooh,
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 child.
child.
Ooh, child.
Ooh.